The Super Smash Bros. Franchise is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Smash offers such unique, such addictingly fun and rewarding competitive gameplay that even after thousands of hours, I'm still not done. I could do an in-depth video about why this particular fighting game is so great and why I love it more than others in the genre, but I'll save that for another time. With the new Smash being announced for Switch, this seemed like the perfect time to look at potential new characters. With such a huge roster of characters from all kinds of platforms, both Nintendo and third-party characters, who knows what the new Smash could bring. Making a top 10 simply wouldn't be enough, so here are the top 20 characters I would like to see in Smash for Switch. Keep in mind, this list is 100% opinion-based. I judge these picks based on how much it would make me happy to see them, not whether they're the most popular requests or are the most likely to be in it. With that aside, let's start the list. Number 20. Viewtiful Joe. The energizing, cel-shaded action hero. I'd imagine Viewtiful Joe in Smash as a mix between Captain Falcon and Mario, with a possible witch time function added in. A perfect mix between quick, close combat fighting with a couple of slow but powerful blows. His final smash could be a fun fourth wall break where he pretends to be on a movie set, and like Bayonetta, he has the opportunity to start a slow motion punish. Though I would change that up so it wouldn't be a copy, like adding a counter that allows you to punch the opponent in different directions. However he will play, the mere appearance would be enough to get me excited. Number 19. Ratchet and Clank. Usually, I don't think combat belongs in a platformer because you mostly just spam the attack button and it gets very tedious. Ratchet and Clank is the rare exception where the combat is at least as interesting as the platforming. If you're not grinding on rails or use Clank to make long jumps, you use a huge variety of creative weapons to take down tons of enemies. From guns that turn enemies into pixels, make the enemies dance or turn them into sheep, Ratchet and Clank is a duo that offers a big library of creative moves for Smash. Number 18. Crash Bandicoot. Going from the one Sony character to the other, Crash Bandicoot has had a big influence in the platformer genre. It seems only fitting to see him alongside platforming icons like Mario and Sonic. With just a jump and a spinning kick, this character has a lot of solid platform challenges on his name. While I do think depth perception is a bitch in these games, therefore the games aren't as good as Mario or Donkey Kong, beating a stage requires skill and feels rewarding. The only thing I worry about with Crash Bandicoot in Smash is a lack of iconic moves, besides his spinning kick. But after seeing what they did to Villager and Duck Hunt Duo, I'm convinced Sakurai can make a solid character out of anything. Number 17. DIRK the Daring. I love this character and I greatly enjoy these games. They're basically short movies with QuickTime events, but done with such entertaining absurdity to it that I can't help but have a big smile on my face whenever I play them. Dragon's Lair had its installments on Nintendo consoles too. Unfortunately, the NES platformer became infamous for how awful it is. The SNES version, however, was a fairly decent platformer. So was the 3D GameCube game according to reviews. With a possible Dragon's Lair movie coming, a comeback in Smash doesn't seem like such a strange idea. And even if he doesn't come to Smash, please make the movie happen. Number 16. Ice Climbers. In all honesty, Ice Climbers were always my least favorite characters in Smash. Well, except for Pichu. I didn't even mind the fact that they weren't included in Smash 4, even though I don't remember what it was that I didn't like about these characters. After years of not playing Ice Climbers, I picked up Melee again, and suddenly I noticed just how unique these characters truly are. You're basically controlling two characters at the same time, but in a different way than Rosalina and Luma. This allows techniques that are only possible with these characters, and losing the girl character feels like you've been stripped of part of your power. Winning with just the boy character has a strange sense of satisfaction only Ice Climbers are able to get. With the technical difficulties of the 3DS out of the way, now is the time for Ice Climbers to make a return. Number 15. Arthur. From the classic, relentlessly difficult platformer, Arthur is a perfect candidate for a projectile character that has a lot of aerial movement. Throughout Ghosts and Goblins, he is able to use projectiles with all kinds of different effects. Some are fast and go straight ahead, others go diagonal and are slow, others cause a temporary fire, etc, etc. This will make Arthur a character similar to Duck Hunt Duo or Mega Man, where he tactically uses his projectiles to combo or corner the enemy. But if Smash really wanted to be loyal to the original game, Arthur will need to beat the enemy twice in order to win. Alright, maybe not that last one. Number 14. Noctis. Final Fantasy has a huge library of characters, and I'm not the one to judge who is most qualified given I've barely played any of the games. But I have played a chunk of the most recent one, 15. With Cloud in Smash 4, having Noctis in Smash Switch is a welcome idea. With his ability to summon numerous strong weapons out of thin air and his fast dodging skills, Noctis could be a speedy sword fighter. I don't know how, but if Noctis were to be a Smash Switch, put his friends in too. The friendship with these guys is one of the strongest part of FF15. Make them part of the final Smash, or maybe summon them for special moves like the down B of Zelda. Either way, I'm glad Noctis has at least joined the roster of Tekken. Number 13. Ryu Hayabusa. Ninja Gaiden 1 for the SNES is the most difficult game I've ever managed to beat. I'd recommend any platformer lover to try to reach the end boss, because reaching him takes a ton of effort but is very rewarding. Beating him is extremely numbing and tedious on the other hand. That I do not recommend. But with his history on the NES, his later 3D games and his Roll in the Dead or Alive franchise, Ryu Hayabusa is another speedy swordsman fit for the roster. I'd imagine him as a mix between Sheik, Greninja and Marth. Ryu has the option to use teleport moves, like the side B of Greninja. He also has multiple projectiles and not to forget, his iconic throw attack. You don't want to know how many times the CPU used this on me, but I was rarely able to pull this off myself. He would probably be considered too violent for Smash due to the blood and gore of the 3D Ninja Gaiden games, but who knows, they may make an exception this time. Number 12. Lara Croft. Hands down the most iconic female video game character ever, period, no discussion possible. That fact alone is enough for me to want Lara in Smash. But she also has 2 fantastic games on her name to be released in the past few years, and with the recent big movie, as well as a whole new Tomb Raider game being made, her popularity is at an all-time high. Lara would probably be a projectile character, being a mix between Bayonetta's gunplay and Link's projectiles. But nowadays, Lara Croft wouldn't be Lara Croft without her bow and climbing gear. While not associated with child-friendly colorfulness you'd expect from Smash characters, she's a staple in gaming history and definitely deserves a spot. Number 11. Dr. Eggman. Sonic has a huge library of characters, but if only one would be able to join the roster, I wish it would be no other than the big villain himself. Eggman, or Dr. Robotnik as you may call him, played a part in many people's childhoods, being a lovely evil genius who always has a new giant robot to defeat. It wouldn't be fitting to see Eggman fighting people with his bare fists, so the best appearance would be a bigger version of Bowser Jr., where he sits in his giant floating machine and uses all kinds of gadgets to offer a challenge. Being the evil genius he is, Eggman has tons of moveset options to choose from. Be creative, Sakurai.
Can't you land your egg face? That's you. That's what you sound like.
Number 10. Yooka-Laylee. As much as I would want Banjo-Kazooie to make the list, it would never ever happen. We will never see them in Smash, nor will we ever see a new Banjo-Kazooie game. Yooka-Laylee, on the other hand, feels like a much more plausible candidate. I'd imagine them as a mix between Duck Hunt Duo and Yoshi. Laylee has the sonic attacks for long-range moves, they have the roll move which can be like the side B of Yoshi, or they might even be able to use the camouflage move. Yooka absorbs projectiles to gain an additional ability, based on what he absorbs. That would be incredibly unique and cool. While the game received very mixed reviews, I personally don't think the game deserved the hated god. I had a ton of fun playing Yooka-Laylee, and I'd love to see them make an appearance in Smash. Number 9. SORA. As a kid, Kingdom Hearts was one of my favorite games of all time. While I do think the franchise has become overly big and complicated compared to the simple premise it started with, I can't deny the sheer amount of joy the numbered games brought me. With multiple installments on Nintendo systems and the long-anticipated Kingdom Hearts 3 closer than ever, Sora seems like a good pick for the Smash roster. With his different Keyblades, magic attacks, and different special abilities, there are plenty of moves to choose from, making him an all-round character. And with a bit of luck, we might actually see Disney characters take the stage alongside Sora too. That probably won't happen, but hey, let a man dream. Number 8. Wolf. Another returning character. Similar to what Lucas is to Ness, Ganondorf to Captain Falcon, or Roy to Marth, Wolf plays a lot like Fox and Falco, but his moves are different enough to warrant a new character. His side B that goes diagonal, his up B that has multiple hits but is harder to aim, or his up smash that hits both diagonal and upwards, to name a few. Wolf was actually my favorite character in Brawl, but I didn't think it was outrageously disappointing it wasn't in Smash 4, given his moveset is somewhat similar to two other characters that did make it into the game. But with Roy and Lucas returning as DLC, Wolf has a chance to return as a standard character for the Switch release as well. Number 7. King K. Rool. One of the most requested characters to join the Smash roster for a good reason. Donkey Kong is one of the most iconic Nintendo characters, and he has been there since the first Smash installment. His main antagonist and his pirate ship, on the other hand, nowhere to be found in any of the games. This lovely fat Kremling has shown many sides in combat, like his close-range dash attacks, his handling of a big gun, or even using boxing gloves in an arena match. He could be a Bowser 2.0 with more ranged attacks. Give his pirate ship as a playable stage alongside some clever covers of his theme, and King K. Rool would be more than welcome to join the roster. Number 6. Shovel Knight. Another highly requested character. Shovel Knight doesn't just follow the footsteps of classic platformers, but it manages to catch up to them and even surpass most of them. This love letter to the genre became one of the most popular indie games, therefore it has shown to be more than worthy for Smash. Shovel Knight could also bring some nice looking sprite stages to the table, accompanied with catchy old school chiptune music. Unlike Super Meat Boy or Fez, Shovel Knight is a true warrior with many fighting abilities. From his various power-ups, bouncing on the shovel, to gear with specific effects, he is able to do enough to warrant an entry in any fighting game. Number 5. HEIHACHI. At first, I didn't think Tekken or Virtua Fighter was suitable for Smash, but then came the DLC for Smash 4 in which we got to see Mii costumes, based on these two franchises, followed by the Street Fighter character Ryu making an appearance. It was then that I realized there's potential for these franchises to make it into the series. Not as an additional Mii costume, but an actual character to join the main roster. From Akira from Virtua Fighter or Heihachi from Tekken, I think Heihachi is the best pick, given Tekken is more popular than Virtua Fighter, and Heihachi is one of the most well-known characters of Tekken. It would be a strange mix seeing a detailed-looking older character alongside the more cartoony characters, but Smash has proven before that it can work. Number 4. Simon Belmont. The Castlevania franchise has shown many sides, from third-person hack-and-slash games, platformers with RPG elements to even a pretty epic anime series. Castlevania isn't a name that will die anytime soon, but my personal favorite installments still have to be the old-school platformers for the NES and the SNES. More specifically, Super Castlevania 4. Everything about this game just feels right. The boss battles are epic and challenging, levels are creative, music is memorable, the controls are smooth, and especially the diagonal attacks are a great addition to this installment. It's a platformer I pick up every now and then and still have great enjoyment playing it. With such a history on the Nintendo systems and still new content being released today, I don't see why Simon wouldn't make it into the roster. Either he or Trevor Belmont.
Please, this isn't a bar fight. Have some class.
Number 3. Solid Snake. Of all the previous Smash characters, this is the one I hope returns the most. Unlike Wolf, Lucas or Roy, Snake is a 100% unique Smash character in terms of his moveset and aesthetics. It's the only realistic human-looking character to ever make it into the roster from a Dark franchise aimed at adults. When Snake was announced, it blew me away by just how unexpected it was. It was a funny contrast that worked surprisingly well. The character is epic, his moveset was unique and fun to play, his design is awesome, and his stage music was great. I especially love the brutal sound effects you hear whenever he punched something. Snake was just a great character I really miss, and I hope this might be his return. Number 2. Prince of Persia. Hands down one of my favorite gaming franchises of all time. It's a shame it never got a next-gen sequel, but then again, better to have a couple of good games than to greatly overstay your welcome. Of the entries on this list, I feel this is the least likely to actually make it into the game. His popularity is just completely over, but that doesn't stop me from hoping. The most iconic moves are definitely his ability to control time, like Bayonetta's Witch Time or Shulk's counter, and the move where he jumps on his enemy followed by a variation of attacks. He can use multiple swords, long or short, and maybe even temporarily transform into the Dark Prince. Instead of a wall jump, he can actually get a short walk climb move that would truly make him unique. As a character that started in the classic 2D franchise and has made numerous successful entries in the 3D genre, it's not a crazy idea for him to make an appearance in Smash. Too bad his lack of popularity and no content to look forward to is why we would probably never see him. Before I get to number 1, a short montage of characters I'd love to see that didn't make the top 20. There are just way too many characters I had for this list, so I won't be able to give arguments for the ones outside the top 20. Anyways, the honorable mentions. With those aside, my number 1 character I'd love in Smash is Rayman. With the first 2 classic platformers and the latest 2 installments, Rayman has blown me away multiple times throughout my life and remains one of my favorite platformer faces to this day. Everything in these games just feels polished, creative and lively. No stage feels cheap, no world looks half-assed, no character has a forgettable design, no sound effect feels dull or music track sounds lame. There's nothing negative I can say about the presentation of these games. The creative absurdity that is Rayman just has an energizing charm to it. Rayman is a name that is still fresh in our memory and even made appearances on the recent Nintendo systems. He's also one of the most requested characters on this list, and I'm very happy with that. If I had to choose, I would personally enjoy it more if Prince of Persia made it into Smash, but in terms of my opinion, other people's lists and overall chance of actually making it into the game, Rayman is the number 1 contender for Smash Switch. So, those were my picks for the new Smash game. Which characters would you like to see? Let me know in the comments and thanks for watching.